Most people believe this lie. If I work harder, I will eventually get rich. They wake up early. They stay late. They sacrifice weekends. They exhaust themselves. Yet years go by, and nothing truly changes. Bills still arrive. Stress still follows. Freedom still feels far away. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Hard work does not create wealth. Systems do, and today, I want to show you why some people quietly build wealth while others stay trapped in endless effort. Let me tell you about David. David worked harder than everyone he knew. 2 jobs, overtime, always hustling. From the outside, he looked disciplined, responsible, reliable. But inside, David was running in circles. Every dollar he earned required his time. When he stopped working, money stopped flowing. No leverage, no system, no escape. David wasn't lazy. He was trapped in a time-for-money loop. And most people never realize they're inside this loop until it's too late. Now compare David to someone else. Not smarter, not luckier, not born rich, just thinking differently. This person asks a dangerous question. How do I get paid without being present? That question changes everything. Because wealth doesn't respond to effort, it responds to structure. Employees sell time. Entrepreneurs build systems. Investors own outcomes. The wealthy don't work harder. They work once, then let systems repeat. Most people think money starts with income, but it doesn't. Money starts with attention. Ray Dalio didn't grow up wealthy. He wasn't born into power or privilege. As a teenager, he worked as a golf caddy, carrying bags for Wall Street executives. And here's the detail most people overlook. While other kids were distracted by tips and small talk, Ray listened. He listened to how rich people thought, not what they owned. He listened to how they talked about risk, not just reward. He noticed what captured their attention: markets, cycles, cause and effect. That's when the seed was planted. Ray later said something profound. Where you put your attention determines how you experience reality. Most people place their attention on bills, fear, short-term comfort, noise and opinions, daily survival. Ray placed his attention on how systems work, why markets repeat patterns, what happens before success or failure. Attention shapes perception. Perception shapes decisions. Decisions shape outcomes. This is the invisible turning point. You don't become wealthy because you want money. You become wealthy because your attention moves to value creation, learning, and long-term thinking. The moment your attention shifts, your future quietly begins to change. Ray Dalio's biggest failure, and the shift that made him billions. In the early 1980s, Ray Dalio was convinced the global economy was heading toward depression. He was wrong, badly wrong. So wrong that his company, Bridgewater, nearly collapsed. Ray lost clients. He lost credibility. He was forced to borrow money from his father just to survive. For most people, this would have been the end. But here's where the second mindset shift happens. Instead of protecting his ego, Ray shifted his attention to truth. He asked, "What am I missing? Why was I so confident, yet so wrong? What can reality teach me if I stop defending myself?" This is rare. Most people use attention to protect their identity. Ray used attention to challenge it. That moment led to his most important principle: radical transparency and radical truth. Ray didn't just analyze markets anymore. He analyzed his own thinking. He built systems where mistakes were documented, assumptions were questioned, ego was replaced by evidence, decisions were improved, not defended. This shift didn't just save Bridgewater. It turned it into one of the most successful hedge funds in history. Wealth followed, not because Ray chased money, but because he chased better thinking. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't fail financially because they lack opportunity. They fail because their attention is constantly hijacked. Hijacked by fear-based news, social comparison, short-term pleasure, emotional reactions, other people's opinions. Ray Dalio learned something early. If you don't control your attention, life will do it for you. Wealthy people train their attention like an athlete trains muscles. They ask, what matters long term? What patterns repeat? What principles never change? This is why money flows toward them, because money is attracted to clarity, calm thinking, pattern recognition, long-term systems, emotional discipline. Ray didn't win because he predicted the future. He won because he understood how reality works better than most. And that understanding came from where he placed his attention, day after day, year after year. Ray Dalio didn't just survive failure, he studied it. After losing almost everything in 1982, he could have blamed the market. He could have blamed bad luck. He could have quietly rebuilt and never spoken about it again. Instead, he did something rare. He wrote down every mistake he made, not just what went wrong, but why his thinking went wrong. Dalio noticed a pattern that would later define his life's work. Every major breakthrough came after intense pain, but only when pain was followed by reflection. Most people experience pain. Very few reflect deeply enough to extract value from it. Dalio realized, pain is information. Mistakes are signals. Failure is feedback, not identity. From that moment forward, he stopped asking, why did this happen to me? And started asking, what is this trying to teach me? This shift changed everything. He began building what he called principles, rules for thinking, decision-making, and emotional control that removed ego from the equation. And slowly, quietly, consistently, Bridgewater Associates grew into the largest hedge fund in the world. Not because Dalio avoided pain, but because he learned how to use it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't fail financially because they lack intelligence. They fail because they protect their ego more than their growth. When something goes wrong, they defend themselves. They deny responsibility. They repeat the same behaviors. Ray Dalio calls this being closed-minded. Closed-minded people want to be right. Open-minded people want to be accurate. And money flows toward accuracy. Think about it. Markets reward clear thinking, adaptability, emotional regulation, willingness to change beliefs. They punish stubbornness, emotional reactions, blind optimism, fear-based decisions. Dalio learned to surround himself with people who challenged him, people who disagreed, people who exposed blind spots. He even built systems where ideas mattered more than hierarchy, because he understood something most never will. Wealth is not attracted by confidence alone. It's attracted by clarity. And clarity only comes when you're willing to admit, I might be wrong. So what does this mean for you? You don't need a hedge fund. You don't need Wall Street access. You don't need a genius IQ. You need 3 things, and they're available to anyone. Lesson 1. Treat every setback as data. When something fails, don't judge yourself, don't panic, don't rush to fix. Ask, what decision led here? What assumption was wrong? What pattern is repeating? Write it down. This single habit separates people who grow from people who stay stuck. Lesson 2. Separate your identity from your results. You are not your bank balance. You are not your last mistake. You are not your current position. Ray Dalio nearly lost everything, yet his identity stayed intact. Because identity determines behavior, and behavior determines outcomes. When you stop taking failure personally, you start learning professionally. Lesson 3. Build principles, not just goals. Goals are temporary. Principles compound. A goal says, I want more money. A principle says, I will make decisions based on logic, not emotion. Dalio didn't just aim to get rich, he aimed to think better than yesterday. That's why his success lasted decades. The real shift. At some point, wealth stops being about money. It becomes about how you process pain, how you handle uncertainty, how you adapt when reality disagrees with you. Ray Dalio's story proves this. The people who attract wealth are not luckier, they are more honest with themselves. And that honesty, that willingness to learn, that discipline to reflect, that's what changes everything. And now, let's bring everything home. If there is one lesson Ray Dalio's life teaches us, beyond money, beyond markets, it's this. Life doesn't reward comfort, it rewards clarity. And clarity is often born from pain. Ray Dalio didn't become successful because he avoided failure. He became extraordinary because he faced it honestly. When he lost everything, he didn't blame the economy. He didn't blame people. He didn't hide. He looked inward and asked a question most people are too afraid to ask. What am I missing about reality? That question changed his life. Because the moment you stop fighting reality, the moment you stop protecting your ego, the moment you stop pretending you already know, that's when growth begins. Most people stay stuck, not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack opportunity, but because they cling to an identity that no longer serves them. They protect old beliefs. They defend old habits. They repeat old stories. Ray Dalio did the opposite. He let the old version of himself die, so a wiser, stronger version could emerge. And this is where the lesson becomes personal. You don't need to be a billionaire hedge fund manager to apply what you've learned today. You only need honesty. Ask yourself, where am I resisting reality? Where am I blaming instead of learning? Where is my ego protecting me from growth? What painful feedback am I avoiding? Because hidden inside those uncomfortable questions is the exact door you've been looking for. Money doesn't flow to wishful thinking. Success doesn't come from motivation alone. And luck isn't random. Wealth flows to people who are aligned with reality. People who observe, people who adapt, people who turn mistakes into data, people who turn pain into wisdom. Ray Dalio once said, "Pain plus reflection equals progress." Let that sink in. Your setbacks are not signals to quit. They are signals to reflect. Your failures are not proof you're incapable. No matter how difficult, is not a verdict on your future. It's simply feedback. The question is not whether life will challenge you. It will. The real question is, will you deny reality or will you learn from it? Because the people who win, the people who build wealth, freedom, and meaning, are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who fall, reflect, adjust, and rise with deeper understanding. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Your future will not be decided by luck. It will be decided by how honestly you face reality and how courageously you adapt to it. And that decision starts today. If this video made you pause, if it made you reflect, if it helped you see money, success, and luck differently, then this channel is for you. Subscribe, not for motivation, but for clarity. Because in a world full of noise, the greatest advantage you can build is the ability to focus on what truly matters. Subscribe now and start directing your attention toward the life you actually want to live.